All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Babbling Buffoons. Today it's just going to be me flying solo. Alex is feeling a little under the weather, so am I, but we wanted to get something together and that we could post. But I'm going to talk about the oil prices and why Trump may be one of the smartest leaders we've ever had. And it sounds crazy, but stick with me. And maybe it'll make a little bit of sense to you as much as it made it to me. I'm not sure. But we're going to dive into the war. The war that's going on in Iran and everything. And by the time this video is released, the war could be over. Right? We don't know yet. But let's break it down. In the world, you have Europe and Asia. Now, Asia is your North Korea, South Korea, Japan, China, all those areas. They get majority of their oil. It's upward of 60 to 75, 85%, somewhere right around there. They get that from the Middle East. Now, they're not getting it directly from Iran, but the reason why I'm saying Trump may be the smartest person in the world is because United States, Canada, and Venezuela all are still pumping oil. They're still pumping it. Now, as the war goes on, we've already seen Iran close the Strait of Hormuz. You might be saying, well, it could be open by now. The war could be done. But why I think Trump is probably the smartest person on this planet when it comes to this is that if he fights Iran, which we have been, and Iran fights back, they're not going to just fight the United States. They're not going to fight just Israel. We've seen them hitting Kuwait. We've seen them hitting Iraq. We've seen them hitting other areas. What does this do? This causes a world panic amongst all leaders, all economies, everything. Now, Trump knows this. And to say why I think he's the smartest, this is a domino effect, right? The United States went to Venezuela, took their oil, freed them from whatever kind of leader you want to think he was. I don't know. Social media really messes everything up. Now, the reason why I say he's smart is he's already took that oil. It's pumping. It's pumping. It's pumping. He took Russia. He blockaded them from using it. China, he blockaded them from using it. 2 of the 3 superpowers in the world. And they probably consume more crude oil than all the other little countries over there combined. Why do I say this is a smart plan? When Iran attacks all these other countries, they have and they are going to continue to do so as long as they can. It closes down the Strait of Hormuz. When they close that down, all oil stops going out. Trump, media around the world can spin it as we're trying to open it. Iran's being difficult to work with. Guess what? If we wanted to open it, we'd open it. They're starving countries right now with oil. Now, if you look at it, how do you want to say it? Europe only accounts for like 10 to 20% of oil usage from the Middle East. They used to take home a lot more, but it shifted since the Ukraine and Russia war has happened. Now it mixes like the Middle East, the U.S., stuff like that. Norway contributes some of Europe's oil prices and so forth. Now, you ask, why is Trump smart? Trump is being smart in the direction of, how do I want to put this? It's a lot of these countries like South Korea, Japan, China, Russia, they all need that oil from the Middle East. Guess what? We're still pumping our oil. We're still fluctuating it to be to where we are set in a prime area in dominance. I don't even know if that's the word I want to say, but with doing that, Trump has now taken some of the world that we owe our $39 trillion deficit, and he's going to control the major bulk of the oil that's being produced. As long as the Strait of Hormuz is down, Trump's going to be able to say, well, not just with your tariffs that you have to pay us. Now you have to buy our oil. You have to buy oil of Venezuela. You have to buy oil from Canada. You have to buy oil from these countries that you're used to not dealing with. Now you're going to use U.S. currency to buy oil. Meaning now Trump has the ability to say, well, if you want oil, we can supply you this oil. I'm not sure if he's going to do this. I have no insight or anything like that. But as long as he has a leg up on these other countries that are starving for oil, he can wipe this deficit out that we owe the world overnight. Overnight, the U.S. does not stop pumping. They're still pumping. We have some of the world's largest, if not the world's largest, oil reserve. Canada, the Northern Territory, they have a large deposit of oil. Is it more expensive to drill there? It absolutely is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's expensive. However, once it starts, we reap the reward, not now, but in the future. Trump is not just trying to be a bully in this world that a lot of people want to, including the left. And the Democrats want to show Trump's a bully. He's not a bully. He may not word the stuff the way we want it to, but what he's doing business-wise is what the United States needs and must have happen to get us in a better circumstance long-term. This is not just to show short-term growth to his next 3 years that he has. This is to show that what he implements now, if not done wrong in the future by other world leaders and by our president and our government, that the United States will be sitting in a very good predicament and in a great situation. Venezuela, they're going to reap the rewards huge from this. This is going to bring a lot of revenue and a lot of industry into their region. It's going to build their economy. It's going to boom their area. So if you think that Trump's being a bully in what he's doing, he's being brilliant. He's showing the world that with just a flick of his finger, a snap of his fingers, whatever he wants to do, a pen to the paper, he can manipulate how the United States can get out of national debt. This is all a grand scheme of things. You want to talk about income tax, how he's talked about getting rid of the federal income tax. This is all in a plan to wipe our deficit out so the United States can live off the tariffs and sell the oil to help the citizens of the United States prosper and move forward in a better and more stable environment. Now, a lot of you might want to argue back or comment back, that you're against him. That's fine. Our Constitution gives us the right to freedom of speech. And I will tell you that I believe, even though I disagree with some of Trump's antics and everything, I do believe that what he's doing with this war is brilliant. and it is very strategic. We know that Iran's going to bring other countries into the war by attacking them so that they can feel like they won the war. Japan did it. Japan brought the United States into the war by bombing Pearl Harbor. After that, the world stabilized for a short time. And I'm not saying this is as much to do as like Pearl Harbor was, but I'm saying Trump's learned from history, and he's allowing it to repeat itself in a different formation. He wants Iran to bring other countries into the war, because if he does, the war will last longer. If the war lasts longer, oil production halts. There's a shortage of oil production in the Middle East. These power countries and these other countries that have accumulated the power over debt from us now finds themselves at our mercy, at our government's mercy, at Trump's mercy, at our oil production mercy. We can sell our oil to countries overseas to wipe out the national debt of $39 trillion. It could be a little over, it could be a little under, but when that's said and done, the world's going to change. And I believe that if it continues the way we want it to continue, or Trump wants it to continue, I should say, the United States is looking for a very long and prosperous time ahead. This is just going to be a short video. Didn't really have a lot to say, but I wanted to comment on that because a lot of people are against this war. I'm never for a war that takes lives, especially innocents. But unfortunately, casualties happen of all shapes and sizes and ages. And we've learned that with the Russian-Ukrainian war. And now we're learning that with the Iranian war with Israel and the U.S. But, leave your guys' comments. Let me see what you think. I'm very interested in to hear what everybody's got to say. But yeah, until next time, guys. This has been Babbling Buffoons. All babbling, all buffoonery.